Fitheads. We said this episode would be us reviewing your reviews of our podcast on Apple Podcasts,
But we said it at the end of the episode last week. Silly. So we wanted to start this episode by saying, if you go to Apple Podcasts, rate and review 5 stars, please. And if you write a review, we would be very happy to review your reviews.
Basically, we wanted to give you more time to get in your reviews. We saw a lot of them that were at the beginning of our podcast, which is awesome. Thank you, everyone that's already submitted. And we want some more recent ones. Get in there, because this is your last chance to get a review written so that we will read it live on air on our podcast. And this is also scary for me because it's not like a comment on a YouTube video. If you want to get rid of that, you just delete it.
Mm-hmm.
We can't delete our own reviews on Apple Podcasts. They're just there forever.
Just there forever.
So whatever you say...
emotionally will affect us.
But the best part is that I'm so stoked to go through and read what you all said. And then, of course, give you all 5 stars if they were of value. Also, they're probably going to be just questions like, Max, what is it like not having a beard any longer?
Right. Allie, what is it like being so short?
Hey! You can't tell. We're seated.
Can you reach a door handle? Do you need a ladder to get to your fridge?
Out. No one asked that. See, that's another thing. You only get one review, so no one's going to waste their review.
They can write a lot.
That's true. You're going to write a bunch. All right.
This is one question.
You print them out.
And it's 37 parts. Welcome to Total Fitheads.
Serious fitness for not so serious people.
My main man, Jim Molly.
I feel like Jim Molly's probably female. That was a guess. Oh, no, Jim. Jim Molly. It's 2 first names, and we don't know what gender.
Yeah, I don't want to assume anything. I think his name's like Greg or something like... I forget.
The guy that's the actual CEO of Jim Molly?
The guy who, on the package, on one of the multiple boxes of stuff they sent me, it wasn't from Jim Molly, it was from like... Greg Jennings or whatever.
Sure. And it was a
but they have an office right here in LA, I think.
Ooh, we should go there and just do a Jim Molly mile? Yeah. For everybody who doesn't know, Jim Molly is a pre-workout that does not sponsor this podcast.
Yet. But I thought it was the most ridiculous name in the world. We saw him at
the Fit Expo.
Fexpo 3 years ago. And I was like, that is the most ridiculous name I've ever heard in my life. And then we saw the booth, and they were acting like you would think someone on Jim Molly would act.
Pretty absurd.
Fist pumping and jumping and neon colors, no offense. And it was awesome. And then we tried it, and it was awesome. And then
I have yet to try it.
Oh,
I'm scared.
My God.
It's 300 milligrams of caffeine per serving. That's about 3 cups of coffee.
Right.
So I would have 1/3.
Well, they have a bunch of stuff. They have like their pre-workout, and that's, I would say, is pretty typical pre-workout. And you do pre-workout a lot more than I do. Well, used to. Now I'm just in. Now.
Yeah, right. Did you have some today?
No, they gave me these cans of, I think it's energy drink, but they have BCAAs and all this other junk in there too. That's more fitness energy drink than just straight energy drink.
Sure.
0 sugar. I think they sprinkled in some creatine, some other stuff
in
there.
Just a touch of creatine.
Just a touch. A
little beta-alanine.
Yeah, exactly.
Give you the tingles.
So the pre-workout gave me the tingles. So this pre-workout is, a lot of pre-workouts, you eat it and then your ears tingle or your eyes tingle or something tingles.
You want to scratch your face off.
Yeah, which is pretty typical. But the pre-made cans, the drinks, didn't give me that at all. They just gave me like a very big up. But I had an unbelievable amount of energy.
Yeah.
I woke up, I crushed one, I did a full workout, then I dragged the dog out of bed and we ran to the park, then I ran around the park with the dog, then I did some pull-ups at the park. Like, it was nuts. Then I ran home from the park, then I took a million portrait mode photos of the dog, then I ran home from the park. You know, like, it was a full day. It was wild.
There was no negative side effects? I feel like I would get nauseous. That's usually what happens when I over-caffeinate.
Just depression the next day?
Sure,
that I wasn't feeling.
Right. a Molly joke, folks.
Not a ton. I mean, I was planning on crashing anyway because I was like, there's no way I can be this up.
Well, there's no such thing as a crash with caffeine. People don't realize it's like radioactive material. It has a half-life, so the graph goes like this, and it slowly declines in your blood versus when you see your levels or your blood glucose levels where you go up and then crash down quickly like a roller coaster.
Right.
So anybody that says like, oh, you know, I can't stand the caffeine crash doesn't know how science works.
Right. But maybe it's placebo. You never know.
Oh, of course it is.
But yeah, I didn't see a ton of negatives. But also, I didn't love the pre-workout, but I think that's just because I'm not used to pre-workout as much. I mean, you take pre-workout every day or every twice a day?
I'm no.
3 times a day?
Stop it.
Every meal. Every hour.
Oh, just snorted in between working. No, I try and separate it out. So if I wake up and do a morning walk, that's when I'll have it. But that's maybe 3 times a week. If I just wake up and sit at my computer, I will not. So I at least want to be active when I have it. It's supposed to activate your fat burning, so I feel like it makes my walk more effective, mostly more fun.
Yeah.
I can't tell if I like walking or if I just have connected walking to pre-workout, and now
you're hooked, chemically hooked. You walk the dog, or you walk by yourself?
Walk the dog, yes. Well, Christine walks the dog every day, so I'll just join in once in a while when I have time and want to be less effective in the morning.
My dog is not an exercise dog. If I'm walking the dog, we are dawdling. We're not going anywhere. We don't go very fast.
Wiggling around.
I know he's faster than me, but
really?
When I'm running, he's like dragging behind, and I'm like, hey man, let's go for a jog, and he's like, sorry dude, I'm not that kind of dog. So
I know there are other dogs, not me.
Right.
Has there been a point where you've had to carry him because he's like, that's it?
Sometimes it's just so easy to carry him that like sometimes I like forget that I am. Like if we pop into a grocery store or whatever, I'll pick him up like a football and I'll buy whatever and then I'll leave. And then we'll be walking, we'll be like halfway home and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Get down! You can walk. You're a dog. And he's like, ugh, whatever.
You should get one of those pouches so you can hold them in the front. I have one. Do you want it?
I could just wear a hoodie backwards and then...
Oh yeah, that's adorable. Holy crap.
He'll fit right in there. He's only 8 pounds, 10 pounds.
Huh. Yeah.
That's a lot for someone like you, obviously.
Yeah, I'd have to use both hands to curl. Jerk.
That's like a walking lunge for you.
So I did want to get back to something. As you thought that Jim Molly was like a crazy name title, but since they came out, you've sent me a bunch of different crazy named pre-workouts. This is now a trend in the industry where it's like Viking Stab or Face Ripper or Serial Killer.
Yeah, wannabe serial pre-kill.
Yeah, and they're just like these tongue-in-cheek kind of names, and the companies come out with whatever. It's like cool now.
Yeah, it's like how the craft beer industry got really punny all of a sudden. I feel like the pre-workout...
Just hopping around.
Yeah.
Hoppy birthday.
Because I'm hoppy. I thought it was funny back then. I think it's considerably less funny now, only because I've heard so many of the stupid names.
Combining 2 words together, too, to make a new word was, like, the funniest, coolest thing in marketing. Yeah. Look how clever and unique you are.
I know. So amazing. But there's still the mainstays, C4. I mean, that's...
Yeah. That's also... Oh, right. Which I just learned recently.
Really? Did you just watch a movie?
No, someone was talking about, I think on the news, talking about C4, and I was like, what? Pre-workout? And then I realized it was...
The explosive bomb material, yeah. Did you watch any action movies in the 90s, ever? Or the 2000s?
I didn't. I missed out on Die Hard, but I do know it's a Christmas movie, maybe.
Yeah. It is.
Is it? I feel like there's a debate about that. Oh, no.
It's absolutely a Christmas movie, but it's one of those movies where it could be set whenever. It just so happens that it's set at Christmas, and so boyfriends and husbands across the country are around Christmas time are like, oh, I know a great Christmas movie.
Yep. Sure.
But it does have a direct effect on the plot, for sure. he only goes to visit his wife because it's Christmas time.
There you go.
So I think in theory that counts. Although he could have visited her for 4th of July, I guess. Or...
Just to celebrate our country's independence.
Have you seen all the Star Wars movies since last episode when I told you how to watch them?
I did not.
Well, next time. We'll check in 2 weeks.
Sure, great. So, what have you cut out of your diet? Are you not drinking coffee now because you're doing... Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I love coffee.
So you're drinking coffee and pre-workout?
I did do that this morning. Actually,
what?
I did pre-workout this morning, then coffee, and I was still dragging, and I couldn't. I was like falling asleep and tired.
The incorrect order.
Then I drank one of those energy cans, and now I feel pretty good.
You've had 2 Jim Molly's and a coffee.
Correct. And no food.
Wow. Remember when you had that big bag of caffeine that could murder you?
Oh, yeah.
No, that's not a metaphor.
That's not...
You could actually die from having just a spoonful of caffeine.
I got it at GNC. That's what was scary about it. Is I didn't even... Or just like some supplement store. It was probably GNC. That's the only one I knew of. And they just sold me a big bag of powdered caffeine. And I would take literally a pinch. Or if I wanted to be exact, I would take 1/8 of a teaspoon and fill it up like a quarter of the way.
And then not pack it.
And then like dab it into some water. It tasted bitter. It was terrible. And then I would be so amped up. And then we were doing some reading, and a spoonful of that would literally kill you. And I just had it in my kitchen.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I asked this because were you having a lot of caffeine at that point? Has your body gotten used to it?
I don't know. I don't know if it's me. I don't know if I do drink coffee every morning, but not a ton. One cup historically.
I can get through half a cup at this point.
Nice.
Yeah.
How about some cold brew?
Oh no, that's like a few sips.
Right.
Well. Yeah, I've been doing, American Arms Race. We got Arms Race.
Oh yeah, that stuff's really good.
What's that one called? Sky Pump or something. Again, we met them at the Fit Expo too, and I've been doing, it is 1/3 of a serving of theirs, and I've been thinking about getting one of those drug scales because my food scale isn't as accurate as I need it to be. This is an entire episode about pre-workout, by the way. We're supposed to be talking about what we cut out of our diet.
I know.
And so I need 5 grams of it, which 14 is a serving. No, actually, I need 5.9 grams of it, right? So what I do is slowly dust it in there until my scale is oscillating back and forth between 5 and 6.
Right.
And then I'm like, okay, that's got to be probably 5.9, and that's what I do in the morning.
So your scale does grams, but it doesn't do
just
tenth,
not
to the tenth or to the 100th?
And I don't trust that it's that accurate down to, I'm looking at tenths at this point.
So it says 5 grams. It doesn't say 5.0.
Right.
So if it's going between 5 and 6, that's 5.5.
What are you, a scale maker?
Isn't that right?
Probably.
I've stood on a scale before.
Okay, fine. So I'm getting less caffeine.
First of all, I've weighed myself. I would say 1,000 times more than you've ever weighed. You've weighed yourself in your life. So yes, I know what it means when that scale, and you're like, tick, 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 and the thing is like bouncing up and down.
It's true. You basically have a doctorate in scale manipulation.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I needed you whenever I was weighing my bunny for the Guinness World Record made out of cotton candy. Needed a scales expert to submit.
Scale man.
All right, so I got to recalculate now. What have I been having?
Just order the drug one, and then just
The drug one?
on the Amazon order when it says like notes, say like I am not a drug dealer, FBI, because I'm sure they're monitoring all of you. Or I guess just Amazon.
I mean, I did get big bags of powder through TSA whenever I was making that cotton candy bunny. Nobody cared.
Right. Maybe they were so hilariously large bags that they're like, okay, we get it, thanks. I bet they thought you were
comical drug peddler.
I bet they thought you were trying to prank them or something like that, and they were like, "Oh, we don't want to be in a TikTok, lady. We're not going to respond to that. We're not going to react to this."
Well, anyway, so I guess I'm not at 150 milligrams per day yet. It's less, but yeah, I don't want to be used to it. I like the high, and so here. Great segue. I'm going to give up caffeine. That's going to be one of the things that I do it periodically.
More for me.
I can't believe you had, quadruple digits milligrams of caffeine today.
Yeah, look how amped up I am.
What was your sleep last night that you?
I went to bed. Well, I was really hungover yesterday. I had a couple of cocktails on Sunday because I was watching the basketball game.
Just a couple?
And then I wasn't feeling very good all day yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to bed at like midnight on the dot. Got up at 8:30, 9. I got up at 8:30, snoozed until 9 or 9:30. So, tired.
But it was a full night of sleep at least.
Yeah, it wasn't like I stayed up till 4, woke up at 9 or anything like that.
Yeah, okay. Well...
But I don't know what my debt is. Although I didn't go to bed that early.
Your sleep debt. Ooh, yeah, I
Which
haven't
is
checked
crap.
that in a while. Let's check our sleep debt.
It's a debt off.
Shout out to Rise. 6.5. Nope, just kidding. It just doubled. Well,
Oh no.
No, not doubled. It's at 9.1 now.
9.1.
Ugh. Sleep debt.
Oh.
0?
Oh.
How on earth?
Brutal. Straight up 0.
I think you're the first human to have ever done that. He has 0 sleep debt.
Feel right. Yeah, that's when I went to bed though.
How much sleep does it say you need? Because I'm supposed to get over 9 hours.
I think I'm at like 8. Where does it say?
No, 8 hours and 45 minutes, which is, they give us a graph that show you what most people are, and I'm nowhere inside of the most people's graph. I need way more sleep than the average person. I think it's because...
Where does it show you your sleep needs? My sleep needs 7 hours 45.
You need a whole... You get an extra 7 hours a week to just be awake.
I know.
Compared to me.
Just chilling.
Ugh. That's stupid.
Well, I'm in my energy dip though right now, so we should probably get another coffee or something.
Yeah. Maybe a marquee. Anyway, I plan on giving up coffee, not forever.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should list things that we've actually just like giving up forever because it's not good for our bodies specifically. Potentially, someone else could get advice from that, even though everyone is different.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a temporary thing, and I plan on drinking Ketone IQ.
Definitely. I just got mine.
Yeah?
I'm excited.
So
well,
that was the
also...
episode before this, by the way, if you missed it. It is basically ketones that your body didn't make. You just drink them. And supposedly that's a more sustained energy, more of like a caloric energy versus a stimulant energy. So I'm going to see switching coffee to that for a week.
And we talked about going keto and ketosis a lot, and that whole episode was really, really interesting. And I was telling Allie before we started, I tried to get into ketosis, and it didn't work at all.
Stop
I
saying
didn't
that.
eat for like 36 hours, just didn't eat.
Yeah.
And then I had those pee strips, and nothing happened, not even close.
I think you gotta let me test you with a blood prick, because I bet you were maybe. I can get into ketosis. See, now, I just want to compliment myself and say that it's because I'm so flexible, but
It's called a brag.
do it overnight.
It's called a brag.
You
don't compliment yourself. It's just called bragging. It's called showing off. It's called being a pompous little twerp. It's not anything like that.
Well, anyway, we should have a keto off.
Cut off?
Damn. I'm so mad every time you say it that way. A ketosis off and see if you can get into it faster.
Well, obviously it's you, because I tried. I have never in my life been in ketosis, ever.
Alright, we should... You don't eat next time you come here, and I'll test your blood.
Fine.
Whenever you were wearing levels, what was your fasted glucose level? Whenever you woke up, how low were you? Or where did you hang out when you didn't eat?
I think it was like 190.
Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe a little higher.
Really?
Yeah, I don't remember offhand, but I remember I could get up to like they would have to grab it, and like my peak would be like out of
the thing.
Which is always pretty embarrassing.
Yeah, I've definitely done that.
But yeah, you would send me ones of like 60 or 70, right, or something like that, and I would be like, wow, I've never even come close to that.
Right. Well, I sort of, when I wasn't vegan, was sitting around where you were, and now that I'm vegan, it's lower. I know, which is actually a good thing, supposedly. You want your fasting glucose to be pretty low. And so around 60, 70, that's when you run out of glucose and your body's like, uh-oh, I better make ketones and burn fat.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's probably why you have to, well, who knows, though. It burns through.
I'll tell you one thing I know, is that we lasted 20 minutes before you mentioned that you were vegan. So that's a good...
Great.
It's a solid record there.
Thank you.
Solid.
You know, I also did Murph this year because I'm a CrossFitter.
Oh. When's the last time you went to a CrossFit class?
Class! I do my own programming. That's how much of a CrossFitter I am.
I don't know. I think to be a CrossFitter, you have to either go to a class or compete in something with CrossFit on it.
Signing up immediately. What can I do?
You know what counts? I will say a Tough Mudder probably counts because that's such a big overlap.
I hate you so much. I want to throw this bike at you. The first half of that sentence, I thought you were being serious, and it's infuriating. Anyway.
Well, I will say you were very triggered just then, so maybe you are a CrossFitter after all. I don't know. You have to actually attend a class.
You have to be super sensitive about what CrossFit is before you're a CrossFitter. Oh, that's funny.
That's fair. Fair's fair.
Okay. Again, I ask you, because I keep getting sidebarred and mostly me interrupting you. What have you given up that you don't eat anymore because you know it's just bleh for you?
So my first one, it's such a bummer because for years and years I realized that, or I in my heart of hearts I was like, this is what makes an okay meal into a great meal, or specifically an okay sandwich into a great sandwich, and that is mayonnaise.
Okay, I disagree.
Right.
I completely disagree.
So
mayonnaise is disgusting.
All right, name your favorite sandwich. Ready to go.
Sandwiches are disgusting.
Okay, see, there you go. That is how you know someone doesn't know what they're talking about. So back to the expert here, the sandwich expert. If you're gonna get a good sandwich, put some mayo on it, and it makes it a great sandwich. But
you don't have mayo anymore.
Now I don't have mayo anymore, and it's mainly because of levels. Mayo was one of the ones that spiked me unbelievably, and not only did I figured out that it was because I ate like a turkey sandwich with mayo, and then the next day a turkey sandwich without mayo.
Well,
same thing. And the mayo spikes me, banana spikes. I can't believe you don't like sandwiches. You are such a CrossFit vegan. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Who likes sandwiches? They're just this gross thing that was sitting in a lunchbox for a long time. It's what you have to eat because you had to pack something. It's not something you order. It's not something you want.
Right.
You're
Who eats
on the
vegetables?
go.
They're full of dirt, aren't they? They're just dirt. I mean, they're like, why don't you just eat dirt while you're at it? That's the level of your inability to describe a good sandwich. How about some bread that just came out of the oven and you just slice
and then you mash meat into it so it gets all mushy, and maybe some vegetables
What if you toast the bread?
It's still gross. Why would I want all my ingredients all gooping on each other?
Right. So, again, all you're doing is demonstrating how ignorant about sandwiches you are. So, by all means, keep going.
Sandwiches are something I've given up, and I gave them up because I left grade school and became an adult.
Okay.
There you go.
I love your adult apartment here. What is that? Is that a 9-foot tall teddy bear? Adult?
Okay, this is.
Oh, is that a golden
red
skeleton
herring, okay?
right here?
Your argument is invalid because this has nothing to do with my eating habits. I'm just logical fallacy.
I'm extending your logic that you are a quote-unquote adult.
God darn it. Gosh darn it.
Anywho, So a good sandwich really goes a long way. But unfortunately, mayo is one that I guess just makes me spike real bad. Now, I will say, in my journey since giving up mayonnaise, I have come to appreciate mustard that much more.
Really?
Mustard does everything that mayonnaise did, but slightly more mustardy.
So yes,
once you get used to that, then there's not a whole lot of lost love there for my no mayo. Now I just slap on way more mustard, and it works okay. And not quite as good.
It's less fatty.
Yeah.
I feel so bad because you really do love mayo, and that sucks that it your body does not respond to it. And two, I feel bad because it is mind blowing that something so fatty would be a problem.
I know. It's weird.
Is it like mayo or Miracle Whip? I feel like maybe Miracle Whip has sugar in it, and that would be...
Well, that's what I was wondering about a lot of mustards and mayonnaise and condiments and all this stuff. Like
ketchup, definitely.
Ketchup has a ton of sugar. It has a ton of all this other junk in it that you don't really know or think about. You just think, oh, that's ketchup. Yeah. But there's all sorts, like spaghetti sauce, a lot of canned marinara sauce has a ton of sugar in it, especially if you're buying the grocery store ones or whatever.
Right, the stuff that's made to
last.
Appeal to everyone. And last.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you really do have to check it a little bit. And so I think I was trying just regular old Hellmann's. I was trying like the low whatever one.
Yeah.
There's low fat and low sodium, whatever that means, because mayonnaise is inherently just eggs and water and something else. I think like it's inherently fatty. So I don't know how it would be low fat mayonnaise, but that's marketing for you.
The ingredients in mayonnaise are surprising. I'm Googling it now.
And what's crazier too is I know specifically Hellmann's, their slogan is Hellmann's is real mayonnaise. And my dad one time we were in the grocery store, he's like, isn't that a funny slogan? I was like, I don't know, why? He's like, well, do you know what real mayonnaise is? And I was like, no. And he's like, eggs and water and something else, maybe some vinegar. And then we looked at the label on the Hellmann's and it was like, like a million other things. So inherently it was not real. But then if you look closely at the logo, real is in air quotes.
Yeah, right. Oh, in quotes. Real.
So it's like real, you know what I mean? Totally real.
This is crazy. It's eggs, oil, and then either vinegar or lemon juice.
Yeah.
What on earth? Eggs should not spike anyone, and oil should reverse spike you. You add oil to pasta so you don't spike as much.
Yeah. So maybe if I made my own mayonnaise,
But you have to figure out how to emulsify something. This seems very French.
Right. I need a mortar and pestle. No, I need a...
Sure.
a whisk.
You need a French person. I think you should try to make your own. Ew. Now I'm just seeing pictures of mayo.
Now your Google is like...
Yeah. Oh, great. Google's like, this gal likes mayo. Let's serve her more sandwich ads. I hate everything.
So anyway, mayo is my big one. That's my white whale.
Yeah.
Okay. But maybe I will try to make my own. That's a good idea. I've never... Or maybe they sell like all natural...
I'm sure
farmers market one or whatever.
Air one. And it's $50 for this much.
Of course it is. But yeah, so anyway, egg salad sandwiches, those are out because that's a bunch of mayo. Pasta salad, potato salad.
None of that is good though. That's all stuff that you packed in a lunchbox and are forced to eat.
You ever been to a cookout ever? Have you ever been outside ever? Have you been to a barbecue ever?
I like to hang out with my bear.
Right. Okay. Just eat some more garbage.
Foodborne illnesses. That's what a cookout is. That is dangerous. Now that I've got my American Safety Council Texas Online Food Handler Program certification, I no longer eat outside.
Congratulations. You might want to get that bad boy laminated.
Yeah, it's not doing so hot. It's been in my wallet for a while now.
Does it expire?
Oh yeah, 2024. So I got
a
couple of years now to inspect food and handle it.
Excellent.
That was also for my Guinness World Record. It's weird that keeps coming up. Probably because I just keep wanting to talk about it.
Oh.
You know?
Why did you need that?
Because we had to hire someone to make sure the final sculpture of cotton candy was food safe and then give it to everyone. And I couldn't find anyone to hire, so I got certified myself.
Smart. Problem solving.
Problem solving. You found a trustworthy individual to make sure.
And I must have told you about that stupid Army commercial, right?
No.
There's this Army commercial, and they go, you have to... There's a bunch of troops on the other side of a thing that you have to get supplies to, but there's a river in between you. What do? Build a bridge. Problem solving. Learn it now in the Army. But build a bridge is like helicopters fly in and they drop a gigantic bridge that unfolds and then trucks like drive over the thing. And I always was like, problem solving? That is not problem solving. You just made that up. Or that is not the way to solve a problem, you know, that like makes sense or applies to a lot of everyday situations.
Or
that's
practical.
That's not a good lesson to learn.
Yeah.
The lesson is like, oh, the Army has a ton of money and they just do stupid whatever stuff because they have a million people and $1 million, you know.
Yeah.
So like problem solving, that's specific. That's like learning what the capabilities of the U.S. military are. That's not like problem solving.
That's like, here's a list of things we can do in case you come across water.
Nice. So now when like some stupid comes up in my brain, I hear that guy, that narrator be like, problem solving. Learn it now in the Army. So congratulations, you problem solved really well just there.
Oh, ridiculous.
That's like that would have been like problem solving in that situation would have been like, so we just fed them all the food, didn't inspect it, and then we made them all throw up afterwards. We stuck our fingers in that throat. They all puked up the food, so they couldn't keep it down, so they couldn't get food poisoning. Problem solving. Learn it now on Ali Spagnola's fitness channel.
I just bought the business Guinness World Records. I'm now the CEO, and I changed the rules.
Right. All the records, your first name has to be Ali. Anyway, that's problem solving. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so speaking of problem solving, what problems have you solved by cutting out a specific type of food?
I used to eat oat bran every day, and now I do not.
Nice.
Yeah.
What happened?
My levels spiked really high, surprisingly. We've talked about this a lot, and they didn't spike high with pasta. Now I eat a bunch of pasta. But
what was surprising about that?
Because I was replacing pasta with oat bran.
Right.
Because because everyone says it's healthier, it's lower on the glycemic index, it has a ton of fiber and protein, and so supposedly it's better for you, it tastes crappier, and so it must be good. And I was eating it every day and not realizing that actually my body responds way better to pasta, which is way more delicious. So I don't eat oat bran anymore. Although I will say I started to try putting oatmeal specifically back into my diet, but I add a ton of peanut butter and protein powder to it. So that has sort of mitigated a spike, and I'll do it after I work out.
That's funny. It's funny for a couple of reasons. One is that it's one of those things. Everybody knows that oatmeal for breakfast is the best way to start. You know, that's the best. And you're not eating breakfast anymore.
Oh no! But even if you
and
were,
B, oats, steel cut oats. They taste terrible. They have to be good for you. You know, like I feel like that was everybody.
Well, what you should eat for breakfast is eggs, oil. Emulsify them. You should eat mayo for breakfast.
Right? Sounds great. You should put mayo on your eggs.
That's just eggs on eggs on eggs.
Also, I hate to say it, peanut butter is now a bad one for me too.
That's so weird, really? There's protein and fat in it. It's not even that carby.
I don't know. I got a weird body.
Do you know how to read what Levels is saying to you?
I'll have to do it again. Shout out Levels. Maybe my phone was upside down this entire time.
Yeah. Damn it, I set you up for that. Yeah. That's really funny. I should have thought of it. Okay. So yeah, that's the one that I like very big got rid of because it was a huge part of my life. I guess mayo was probably a huge part of your life too.
Well, now unfortunately I have sort of slowed down on the sandwiches because I'm lower on bread. And then the other day I was kind of thinking about the idea of like eating air quotes natural food. And I guess by not natural I mean like less processed food.
Yeah.
So I was like, a full vegetable versus, or like a full chicken breast versus whatever. And then I was thinking like, what's in dried meats? You know?
No. Yeah.
So that was kind of a bummer because I'm like, well, what part of the... Wait a minute.
Yep.
They just blended everything up. Put it in a tube and gave it to me.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It kind of started grossing me out a little bit. Not that I don't love an Italian sandwich every once in a while, but now I have to like budget the rest of my day to just pass out and sleep on the couch or sleep wherever I am.
Sure.
So mayo is out a little bit more. Peanut butter and bread is sort of, I'm lower on bread now.
That's so crazy. See, I thought we'd have some actionable items for people, but I can't imagine just saying, hey, everyone, stop eating peanut butter because that's definitely not good for you. Oh, you know what it is? Jif? Was it Jif?
It could be the same thing.
Or was it pronounced GIF?
Yeah.
Or was it all natural peanut butter that you got at Erewhon and paid $50 for?
It was a couple. What was bad was I had like almond butter and cashew butter and all the other sort of nut whatever, and they all sort of spiked me pretty bad. Not nearly as bad as Jif brand name over the not over the counter, but you know what I mean.
Over the counter peanut butter. That's so funny. You need a prescription for my peanut butter. It's way better.
Yeah, oof, that's the good stuff, baby.
You can only buy once a month, or they think you're making peanut butter meth.
It's funny. It's Peth.
It's brown. That's how you know it's good.
But what feels, brown magic. What it feels, but it feels like everything that I've seen an ad for is bad. That is now my approach.
Just don't trust ads.
Because then I'm like, well, if there's an ad for it, it has to taste good. If it tastes good, I wonder if there's a bunch of sugar in it or a bunch of other junk in there that I'm not trying to get, or I'm not even thinking about is in there. Yeah. Ketchup is such a big example. Like once I've realized how much sugar there was in ketchup, and again canned marinara sauce, that was like a mind explosion a little bit. So yeah, Jif peanut butter. I was doing the regular stuff, and I did play around with the all natural stuff, but it felt like that still spiked a little bit. Not nearly as much, and maybe it's just sugar. I mean, maybe that's sort of the end of my long-winded explanation or my long-winded story is. Check the sugar and all the stuff that you wouldn't think has sugar in it.
Right, totally.
That was a big one.
Yeah, if we're talking about all natural things, I used to buy protein bars that were supposedly more natural. Like, I understood all of the ingredients listed. But I don't eat that anymore because I'm pretty sure they're the same kind of thing. It's an ad for this protein bar that's and it tastes good, and I wasn't ever eating them while I had levels on, but that's one that I've stopped doing, and I thought I was doing a good thing for my body because protein is good for you, but it was full of a bunch of sugar and just garbage.
Right.
All those protein bars, it's like you could have a Twix. They're the same. I equate them to each other. They're dessert. I'll have them for dessert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, if you need it, that's great. And
I guess if you need it, have a protein bar instead of dessert, but they basically are the same in my brain.
Yeah, you should look at the labels, and especially the ones that are like high protein. Remember, were we talking about that or
the
watching
protein
something?
Cookies or whatever?
Yeah, the cookies. They're just cookies, but they have higher. This cookie has higher protein than an Oreo, so it's a high protein.
Yeah,
cookie.
Exactly. It's like they just took the Oreo ingredients and then also added some whey protein into the batch, so you're getting even more calories. Lucky you.
High protein.
High protein. Yeah, that's another thing when people. Listen to some people like us and see advice online that, you need to get more protein in your diet. The first thing they start doing is bars, and it's actually a really bad move. Comes with a lot of probably fat and definitely carbs.
Yeah, it's a lot of other stuff that you wouldn't necessarily look for, but once you start looking, you find it everywhere. It's pretty messed up.
Yeah. Here's another thing I switched. You're going to hate this conversation because it's about vegetables.
Beer.
Still drinking plenty of beer. Thank goodness beer is vegan. I would definitely not have gone vegan. If my doctor was like, go vegan, beer is not vegan, I'm like, well, it's not for me. I guess I'll die at 40. I can still have beer? That's fine. I'll just completely change my life.
Alcoholically, I'm vegan. I just drink whiskey.
That's a great line. Alcoholically, I'm vegan.
I just drink whiskey in a cup.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of fruit juices, there's a ton of sugar in a lot of fruit
Yeah,
juices.
that's stupid.
That's
There
such
was
a
never
bummer.
a time where I was having orange juice or whatever, so I can't say it's something I gave up. It's just something everyone should give up.
I gave it up when I started, when I had to lose a lot of weight.
Yeah. And you're like, wait a minute.
Because I had to look at all these labels for everything, and I was
You
like,
realize-
wow, there's a ton of sugar in some of these, not all of them, but...
And it makes you more hungry. Yeah, this is universal. I can comfortably say on our podcast that we are responsible for that you should not be juicing. You should not be drinking juice. You should eat an apple, not have apple juice.
What if you have one of those blender juicers?
No, that even takes the fiber out. I mean, there's a way where, I guess if you're having a kale thing with celery and it's actually just only vegetables and you don't feel like chewing that day, I still say masticate.
This is such a pain.
It activates your hypothalamus when you chew, and so you'll feel more satiated. But I guess if you're gonna juice, make it vegetables. Ugh. But anyway, if you're turning fruit into liquid, you're doing it wrong. That is universal. I mean, unless you're a performance athlete and you're about to do an Ironman and you just want
Yeah, for
a
performance.
glucose spike as fast as possible. But at that point, you're gonna have gels and you have some sort of
Goo.
plan.
Who were we talking with goo about the other day?
It seems to come up a lot.
We just kept saying goo, and every time I hear goo, I laugh. For
Yeah.
one reason or another. Just because I think it's a funny word. It was in some movie. Oh, that's what it was. It was in some movie, and the kid goes, I peed my pants. And the guy looks down and goes, goo!
Oh, Adam Sandler. Yeah.
Happy Gilmore, that was it, yeah.
Happy. Oh, it was Happy Gilmore. Yeah.
No, it was Billy Madison.
There we go. Well, you just saw my chia toilet.
Mm-hmm.
To cover it in chia seeds, it was this brown goo.
Goo.
Yeah, and I called it my goo-loo.
Oh.
Yeah.
So good. You're halfway to starting your own protein powder company, the Goo.
Oh, yeah. That would be a good protein powder. It's just
The
chia
Goo.
in water, which is something you could just make on your own.
Sure, it
without
sounds like it
selling.
tastes terrible, but
Yeah.
who knows? This is
I
all
have it every
fictional.
night, by the way. I have
Goo!
goo pudding every night. I would love to be able to say, man, I should have just done that. I went full vegan, but I should have just had goo pudding every night and then see if my cholesterol goes down, because then I could say it was just that one variable, you know?
My new diet is chia. Boom.
Yeah.
There's a new video.
It's so clickable.
I know.
Okay, wait, so I was saying the vegetables that I don't eat anymore.
Mm.
This is the vegetable conversation. I used to eat a lot of nightshades, so bell peppers and tomatoes, and I've switched to them for cruciferous vegetables, so cauliflower, broccoli
Mm.
instead. Some Brussels sprouts, although surprisingly caloric. Brussels sprouts are dense.
Yeah, and they're not very good.
They're so good.
Not unless you douse them with... Not
Mayo.
unless you outweigh them with bacon.
Wait a minute. That's another thing. Man, vegan at restaurants, I'm always like, ooh, I could get the Brussels sprout. They have bacon.
Yeah.
Everywhere in LA.
Oh, an order of broccoli, they're covered in cheddar cheese.
Yeah. Ugh. So anyway, and this is because I hired a nutritionist to tell me how to bring my cholesterol down, and she was like, stop having tomatoes and bell peppers and start having cruciferous vegetables.
You used to eat bell peppers like an apple, and everyone would look at you all funny.
Yes.
And frankly, it felt like one of those ones where you're kind of doing it for attention and pretending not to. I'll say it. And you were just like,
Get out.
and everyone's like, gee, Allie, what are you doing? And you're like, being outrageous. And that's what it,
I
that's what it felt
would
like a
never
little
do
bit.
something solely for attention. How dare you?
Excluding my YouTube channel.
You know how they say you're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with?
You were 5 bell peppers.
No, I would say that at least 5 of my friends now eat bell peppers out of their hand, having been near me. I've made their lives better and more attention-grabbing outrageous, I guess.
Doing the Lord's work, I suppose. That's great. I like bell peppers quite a bit. I like them in everything.
Yeah. On pizza?
Yep.
Okay.
Sausage and green peppers is one of the best pizza topping combos you can ever do. R.I.P. your pizza eating career.
Yeah. A vegan pizza's a thing. Oh, sausage wouldn't. Yeah.
Yeah, they make vegan. I mean, they do make
sausage.
vegan sausage.
I was getting vegan bell peppers.
Yeah. It's called like the why bother, you know what I mean?
I'll have the why bother, and they just kick you out.
They had that at this coffee shop I used to go to. There was like a decaf coffee with, like almond milk or something. And they go, yeah, I'll get he wants a large, why bother? And they're like, yep, why bother, on the ready. I find that if I eat too much cauliflower, I get real belly bloated.
Really?
Does that happen to you, or
no,
just the opposite?
Everyone is different. Diet is very personal.
Broccoli and cauliflower, that happens a lot. Because I was eating...
You cook it?
I was eating those steamed bags of them.
I can't have it uncooked because I'll taste broccoli for the next 3 days.
Ooh.
So I do have that problem, but not after I cook it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll cook it harder.
Broccoli and Fruity Pebbles. They are the same to me because they're both something that it'll be next week, and I'm like, oh, I did have Fruity Pebbles.
That is such a brutal... I hate that
That's
taste
odd.
feeling. That's so gross.
Yeah.
Fruity
Pebbles is definitely something not on the list. Not that I ever had it as a kid, but cereal. We brought that up, kind of. But
cereal's out.
Do not eat a carby breakfast if I am going to eat a breakfast.
But you used to.
Yeah.
As a child, like every other child.
Yeah. Or even switch to fruit and thought that was a good idea. It's not. Spoiler, that's another one of my next ones, but...
Well, I mean, now that we're on cereal, I guess I stopped drinking a lot of milk. I used to eat a lot of cereal.
Milk, really? What did you change?
It didn't... I cut it out when I was trying to lose a lot of weight, and it worked. And I don't know, I haven't retried it again. I guess I should get some more levels and test it again, but I just completely stopped. And then it was really convenient. The big trick was not needing milk in my coffee. And now I drink black coffee. And the trick with that is you have to continuously forget to buy milk for a year and then have coffee every morning and be like, ugh, wish I had milk, but I need the caffeine because I'm going to work and I'm hungover. So you just slam back black coffees, and then all of a sudden, a couple of years in, you're like, oh, I guess I don't need that milk. That's fine.
2 years to make the habit.
Yeah.
See, the milk falls in the same category as juice for me because it's drinking your calories, and I feel like that's a waste. Like I said, I'm really into chewing, but of course beer is drinking your calories too, so I guess I have this rule that if I'm drinking my calories,
it better get me
they
drunk.
must socially lubricate me. How absurd, but it's true.
That's
do you drink
funny.
anything that doesn't get you drunk? Do you drink any calories that don't get you drunk?
I like lemonade and iced teas, and I don't like sodas, but it's because my advisor in high school told me not to drink them because they're very bad for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did we talk about my grades? Not really. But, you know, again, it was one of those things where I went through this long period of having to be constantly at the lightest weight I could possibly be. That I didn't want any wasted calories.
You know, iced tea has no calories. If
it's unsweetened.
Right.
If it's sweetened, I like Arnold Palmer's a lot, and then suddenly I like throwing some vodka in there, and now we're talking.
Can you make lemonade with Splenda and then it has no calories?
I've never tried.
I feel like that's possible. It might be grainy or lit.
Yeah. But I guess more to your point, I got in such a mode of, no, man, don't ever order any drink that isn't water, because then you don't know, and suddenly you're 2 pounds heavier than you need to be.
Yeah.
And, you know, so I just drink, it's almost always water.
With your PhD in scales.
Yeah, with my Scale HD. No, do you?
No. Which is... I know. Is it great, or should we just cut out beer and whiskey too?
We're just losers.
Yeah. Because it is smart to have a rule: don't drink your calories. But then I'm like, oh, but you know what this means? They need to invent chewable alcohol. That's the problem. That they just haven't served this market yet, where I can masticate and get drunk.
I mean, they have things that you can chew that will get you messed up.
Oh, yeah, Jim Molly.
Jim Molly.
No, they make alcoholic gummies. You know, Lauren Powell, our friend who's the Seltzbert, tested them out, and she got 0 drunk. She ate the entire package.
Nice.
And blew nothing. So, spoiler.
Maybe she
go watch her video still.
2 packets.
Yeah, that's it. The real scientists here are being skeptical.
Yeah.
Well, you just didn't eat hard enough.
No, but I don't drink. I pretty much only drink water, I think, and booze, and then.
Yeah, even if I need electrolytes because hungover or worked out, I'll have a 0-calorie Gatorade.
Yeah, those are much better.
Yeah.
Or I'll have a Pedialyte once in a while if I need some sort of a hangover.
That does have calories.
Elixir. I know,
Yeah.
but at that point I'm like, I need to come back.
Right,
to
I just gotta
life.
survive. Yeah. Yeah. So mix in some eggs.
Yeah, some oil. Just drink oil. Ugh.
I did that
I know,
for
it's
years.
disgusting.
I would do a tablespoon of MCT oil.
No, it's horrifying.
Yeah, it never got any less weird.
It never got better.
No, but it wasn't bad. I mean, whatever. I have a tolerance for a lot of grossness.
As long as it's on camera.
As long as it's not between 2 pieces of bread.
God forbid. Heavens to Betsy.
Ugh. Alright, anything else you've given up?
I never liked fish. And I do constantly eat fish. Just to sort of double check if I like it or not. And I 100% of the
Wait a
time
minute.
dislike it. Because I'm always out to dinner with people and they're like, oh my god, it's so good, the sugar fish, or oh, you have to try the sword, the salmon, the blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh no, I'm okay, they're good. I'm like, oh no, come here, you'll like this one.
Feed it to you.
And they feed me this sort of like wiggly, rubbery, salt watery,
okay.
blech. And I'm like, oh, that's really good. And they're like, oh, do you want any more? I'm like, no.
Salt watery, like
No.
you've never had a mild fish.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And
So you don't do sushi either.
I now have things that I can order at a sushi restaurant to be
Yeah, the cucumber roll.
exactly
Really?
socially acceptable.
Oh.
I can do like there's usually a bland, very very bland tuna roll that I can get that doesn't just sort of taste like the rice or the wasabi maybe. I love the cucumber roll.
I've heard sushi's a secret metabolism bomb because there's a bunch of sugar in the rice that's sticky.
Yeah, it's white rice.
Yeah,
Sticky
and
white
it's
rice.
just rice, and the protein in your tuna is not counteracting that well enough, and
Yeah,
everybody
so.
seems to spike on it. I haven't tested it.
You should test it. You should do it. Well,
When I get sushi, I just get sashimi, and I just eat straight slabs of delicious, wonderful fish.
Yep.
Not between bread and
More for you.
not cooked and with no rice.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
More for you. And then you're over there having Jim Molly instead.
Just slabs of steak and Jim Molly. But that's about it. So I gave it up, but I constantly eat it just to sort of socially prove to other people.
That you're
I
like,
hate it.
nope, not for me. Interesting.
I was doing a lot of broccoli, like I said, but then sometimes, every once in a while, I would just really just feel like I was a balloon.
Yeah.
Get those stomach pangs, those pain pangs or whatever. So I really didn't like that feeling. So if I'm gonna do a whole plate of broccoli like I used to, I steam it forever or I cook it forever. I feel like steaming was fine, but even when I would like just pan fry it, something happened. It like didn't work that well.
Yeah. Interesting.
Because I remember Kim Nonstop used to have this like delicious garlicky broccoli on the pan at all times in her house. Whenever I'd go over, she'd be like, yeah, just help yourself. It was like chips. It was like so good.
Yeah.
And then when I tried to do it, it didn't work. But yeah, I think that's it. That's it for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't say any specific other foods, but in general, I don't eat carbs by themselves anymore. You know, I'm always trying to add fat and protein. We kind of talked about this already, but
Yeah.
yeah, I used to eat just like a bowl of popcorn, and I'm actually probably tonight going to test this out because I gave advice. I was like, you don't have to have fat with you don't have to eat all that butter on your popcorn. You can just eat the popcorn. And I made a video about it. And I was like, And I showed like the spray device that I use that you can just put water to make it stick, make the salt stick instead of butter.
That's very smart.
Yeah, except that now I'm looking back at that being like, I wonder what it does to my glucose. So now I gotta try it out. Popcorn has some protein in it and like a lot of fiber. It's a whole grain, right?
It's corn.
Yeah, but I imagine it's gonna be a metabolic bomb, and it was stupid of me to give that advice. And now I'm always like, if I'm having pasta, I'll pour a bunch of oil on it. I'll combine protein, fat, and carbs because just having one by itself is not a good idea.
No. But popcorn is vegetable.
Yeah, okay, I guess.
Like how beer is a vegetable, kind of.
Beer is a vegetable? Yeah.
Or no,
wheat.
certain types of vodka. Like
Vodka's potato vodka, yeah. It's a vegetable. Tito's is gluten-free.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Tito's and vodka, that's one of my favorite drinks.
Took me a second. Good stuff.
Yeah. So, what are you going to eat for dinner?
Probably some vegetables,
Bowl of
something
popcorn.
plant-based, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Did you eat, did you get a can of that egg? Plant eggs? Whatever it's called? Just eggs? Is that what it's called?
Oh, I did. It's still sitting in my fridge. It's probably gone bad because I have yet to even use it.
Bro.
Well, I was trying to do not processed vegan stuff at first.
That's hard.
Yeah.
Are all the vegan substitute foods like super processed? I guess they have to be, right?
Yeah, the stuff that tastes like meat, it's got to go through something to get from just living, growing vegetable to tasting like it was a cow.
Right. Well, sometimes you just need a burger. I had a quad burger the other day. I showed Allie a picture. I'm really excited about it.
It was scary.
It's as tall as my face.
Quad, 4 patties.
It's great.
Between a bun, which is not a sandwich, by the way. Burgers are different than sandwiches.
Right.
All right. So now that we're doing the rate and review video, the rate and review podcast later, you still have your chance to do it. So go rate and review on Apple Podcasts because we're going to read them on the air in an episode and review your reviews of us.
Very excited.
And be written onto Apple Podcast for eternity because we can't delete them.
The lore.
And yeah, thanks, Fitheads. We'll see you next week.